Okay, so I want to explain the difference between civic nationalism and ethno nationalism and why I'm kind of like in the middle, I guess. So, civic nationalists would be like a Ben Shapiro. He's tweeted before that something about that he doesn't give a damn about the browning of the United States. And I want to go into detail about civic nationalism just as general. So, civic nationalists can be people like in the Tea Party, even though that movement for the most part's died off. So it's like you want low taxes and you want people to care about the Constitution, free speech, gun rights, property rights, all of these things that are pretty great. But then you don't want illegal immigrants, but you do want legal immigrants as a civic nationalist. And the problem with that is that there's not enough minorities, regardless of black, white, Mexican, Asian, doesn't matter. There's not enough exceptions to this rule, and the rule is that minorities do tend to favor regulations when it comes to free speech. So you'd see more things going on with Google, Facebook, YouTube, all these things about like calling things hate speech and trying to deplatform people. There are too many minorities that agree with that on average. And the same goes with gun rights as well too. That they would want stricter gun laws, gun registration, all of these things. And there's going to be exceptions to the rule, but there's not enough exceptions that it blocks out the rule. And so you could end up accidentally, you stop regular illegal immigration, but then you start legal immigration, and then you end up with this problem where you have a bunch of people coming into the United States legally, which is better than illegally, obviously. But then they're coming in, and then they're voting away the rights that the country's fought for so long. You're voting away your free speech, you're voting away gun rights. You're seeing all of these things change the culture, and part of it's race, but part of it's culture as well. And then all of a sudden, these rights are going away, and it's happening legally versus illegally happening. And you suddenly don't recognize America anymore, and you have all these issues. And I know there's already issues with the United States. In my view, the United States should be a country where people only speak, the main language of the United States should be English, as it's been historically pretty much forever, aside from Native American stuff. But after that, pretty much, the United States was an English-speaking dominated country. And at least where I'm from, maybe in other parts of the country too, that Spanish is becoming like the second language, and it's being taught in schools and all these things, and people put on, when they're trying to look for employees, that they want bilingual people that speak English and Spanish. And so the United States is becoming like a bilingual country to some extent. And I hope that doesn't continue, but I don't know. If it does, it does, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And so that's some of the issues I have with civic nationalism. Now, when it comes to ethno nationalism, I've got a lot of issues with that as well. Just because you're anti something doesn't make you pro something, right? So the ethno nationalists, they don't consider Jews white, so they wouldn't be allowed in this country. Mixed race people like myself, I'm half Mexican, I'm half mixed, white, whatever, lots of different white parts. Even though I don't speak a word of Spanish, and that I connect more to European culture with some policies, and then also with British music. I like British punk music and British heavy metal, all that stuff. Anyways, I'm still mixed race, so I'm not sure where I would fit in with that part of my identity. I don't know where Tim Pool would fit in. He's mixed race as well. I'm an atheist, and the ethno state, at least from the alt-right's perspective, does want it to be a Christian nation. I'm an atheist. I'm going to call out bullshit from Christianity just as much as I would from Islam or Judaism or Catholicism or any of that crap, or any religion really, or cults, whatever. I'm going to call that out. And then I'm not sure the ethno-nationalist stance on sexuality or whatever, but I happen to be bisexual, and so I don't know if I'd get treated differently for that, or if that's just like 3 reasons why they wouldn't want me in their ethno state or whatever. For the mixed race, atheist, and bi, and that they seem to not really like Jews or think that Jews are white or whatever, and I don't really understand that. I know that Jews do have influences on different things. I'm not unaware of that, but I don't think Jews run everything in the whole world. So that's like too exclusive, and the civic nationalism just far too inclusive. And I'm not really sure what to do about all those things. because there's plenty of mixed race people, and there's plenty of black people and Chinese people and all these different things that are proud Americans and support gun rights and free speech and all these great things that make this country great. And then there's obviously the exceptions. There's the SJWs, or there's the right-wing establishment part that I don't like and wouldn't like me either. So all of these different groups, have different interests in mind, and I'm not sure what an alternative is. I've heard of populist nationalists a little bit. Not exactly sure about that one really, though, but I don't consider myself a civic nationalist, and obviously ethno nationalism would kick me out pretty quick. So yeah, that's what I got for it now.